After a second Trump assassination attempt, some have called for the rhetoric in this country to be turned down, to which both Republicans and Democrats have united together to say, no, I don't think we'll do that. And also noting 100% of the rhetoric has actually come from the opposite side.
When asked to elaborate, Democrat Jill Brown stated, if you want to see rhetoric, take a look at the side who, if not stopped by any means necessary, will force women to carry incest babies to term at gunpoint by January 6th militias, while trans immigrant scientists are publicly tortured by Islamophobic Project 2025 sonic hate speech as Donald Trump sits on a throne made of the bones of trans dreamers and the country's formerly democratic institutions for eternity, unless, of course, a hero does something about it to stop the rhetoric.
Republican John Springer commented, there's only one place you'll find rhetoric, and that is the party that is chomping at the bit to lop your son's hog off with a ceremonial cuckold guillotine as the cats of white America are ground into a stew to be publicly eaten by feral immigrants washed down with the blood of newly born infants chanting death to America, all while the CIA redistributes your legally acquired firearms to Argentinian gang lords holding communist manifestos as they vote 1,000 times apiece minimum.
Vegas Odds currently has the percentage chance of rhetoric being turned down this election at 0.00001.
The boys.
It's the BOYSCAST.
The lads.
It's the BOYSCAST.
The dudes.
Prepare yourself for BOYSCAST.
The bros.
It's the BOYSCAST.
The homies.
It's the BOYSCAST.
The dudes.
Experience the BOYSCAST.
The boys cast.
The Boys Cast is back, your number one economics boy
Yes,
podcast.
it is the number one.
You already know what it is. Danny is now a Jersey man. I'm now a fucking Greenpoint, Brooklyn man. We've been out here moving. That has been 90% of my life for the last fucking 2 days. I'll tell you that, my friend.
Yeah.
Danny actually might not be a Jersey boy for long.
We'll see.
We'll see. We'll keep you posted on whether Danny's a Jersey boy. It sounds like he might be moving out.
The darker my eyes get, the more I'm not a Jersey man.
Before we get into everything that is happening this week, we should probably mention the woman who married herself is now getting divorced.
Oh, no.
And not only that, well, we could talk about her first.
Who approaches who with the divorce?
This is the thing. I think
Does she like serve herself?
I think she does. She serves herself in the mirror. She leaves a trail of divorce notes for herself. Then she finds them.
But I was thinking maybe
she tried everything.
She hires a lawyer and then she's like in a parking lot. You know, she's at the Walmart, just being like, just shopping. Hope I don't get served divorce papers,
buddy. She went to therapy. She said she couldn't be perfect for herself. Even committed to oneself can have its challenges, such as dealing with the expectation of being perfect for yourself at all times. So she couldn't stop nagging herself.
No. I mean, it's tough. You know what? I've been thinking about this a lot lately. And they really need to bring back lobotomies.
This would actually be one.
Honestly,
that's the only way to properly divorce yourself.
Have you ever seen the photos of lobotomies?
They used to go hard on lobotomies back in the day.
Lobotomies used to be the go-to thing. Is like your chick would just be kind of like nagging a bit, and you go like, "Hey, this is like."
Get rid of that part of your brain.
You cry a lot, so then all they do is you just go and they just literally just stab a knife like around the frontal cortex of your like a ice pick.
That was
give you a lobotomy, but they show the photos and literally like the before photo is just like person's like miserable, and then the after photo she's just like.
You're sort of pro lobotomy. You're saying it wasn't working so bad.
It was a great system. It's just like you just make them dumb.
Buddy,
like
I'm telling you, you knock a few IQ points off, I guarantee you're making those points back in happiness.
Absolutely. The thing is, the crazy part is like
start wrestling all of a sudden.
Yes, you turn whoever you lobotomize into just like a drooling idiot, but they're happier too.
Yes, exactly.
Like it's like everybody wins here. It's so crazy because we were just like, this is barbaric and we had to outlaw it. But I'm like,
what do you think about the guy? What do you think about the guy who was like next in line to get his wife a lobotomy? When the thing comes on the news, breaking news: lobotomies are now banned.
Oh my God, he had to hear about
it. Take your shoes off.
And then he was hearing about that. She goes, "You were going to get me this dangerous surgery?"
That's true.
For
I know.
like the rest of his fucking life. I was about to get lobotomized before
she doesn't know what she was going in for.
Oh man, that would be a nightmare.
Well, she's having 100% arguments with herself. She's like, "Why aren't you enough?" And she goes, "You don't even care about me." She goes, "You don't care about me." So it's real two hens clucking in one person, right?
Yeah,
she went to therapy and apparently she did 10 sessions. So the therapist is just fucking
Scam artist.
obviously.
I can't help you with this.
She's now looking for a husband. So the reason I bring it up is that there's any takers out there. She's single out on the market.
Anybody takers who want the chick who married herself?
And the girl who married a plane is now divorced. So all these girls that were doing all the wacky things in the wacky era.
What? She goes, I thought you were an Airbus. You're a Boeing? You lied to me. He goes, honey, I couldn't tell you. I wanted to tell you, but...
I knew you wouldn't love me the same if you found out I was a Boeing. So, any takers, anyone, the plane girl and the marrying herself girl, both on the market for some lucky customer.
Maybe we can get them to meet.
I think so, but I think that she's looking for a husband right now, but we could obviously trans one of them. They're into some wacky stuff.
Yeah, for sure. The one started off as a Mariah Carey impersonator. Looks nothing like her.
She's always onto some wacky fucking bullshit.
Nothing like her.
She's a Mariah Carey impersonator, then I'm a fucking Denzel Washington impersonator.
Yeah, basically.
So this is probably
DJ Qualls impersonator.
You actually are though, and I don't. I don't want to too quickly get into the assassination again and go into Trump stuff. We're going to talk about something else.
Yeah.
This was an article that came to me through a birdie, and I legitimately read it, and I was like, I thought it was a satire thing.
Yeah.
I kept looking through other sites. I ended up finding like
you're just like, this is so crazy. You're like, this must be fake.
New York Times tech staff's gonna basically they've been trying to go on strike for a while, right?
Yeah.
And it's the tech staff. It's not their normal staff, and they're kind of holding it over them, being like, hey, it's the election, so now we have the hand.
Yeah. Well,
busy
they're
time
just like
for you.
they're basically saying, they're like, yeah, we're like not needed in any of this. Like, people can get their news anywhere. So like, people just go on Twitter. Like, you guys are so replaceable.
But the elections, when they fucking real pop off, you know what I mean? Or when the New York Times is trying to get a war cooking.
Yeah.
They pop into overdrive when they're trying to get a war
There's
cooking.
a lot of these things going on, and I'm wondering how it's affecting them. But
The Times journalist walked off the job for a day in 2022, and Wirecutter staff staged a 5-day strike during the Black Friday shopping season of 2021. So they've been sort of pushing this for a while, but the Guild released all their tech demands, the tech staff's demands, and they're insane. But the thing is, when you first read this, you go, okay, New York Times journalists, you're like, I'm expecting some wacky demands from them. You know what I mean? Just like no one looks me in the eyes, like, you know, a crying room, all that sort of stuff, right?
All the stuff.
But when I think of the tech guys, I think you're talking nerds. You know, I'm thinking the tech guys that are sort of like, you know, working on the website and stuff like that. The IT guys. I'm not picturing.
But they're reporters still. Some of these are like journalists.
So you're saying some of these tech guys moonlight as journalists?
I guess. I don't know. I was under the impression that they were like also journalists.
This is what was a little confusing me, because when I was picturing tech guys, but it ain't tech guys. This is standard meat and potatoes, New York Times.
Just lying journalists.
This is exactly what you'd expect. They start off not as crazy.
Yeah.
The Guild's put forward a number of proposals that management balked at in totalitarity. Okay. Get me on that one.
Totalitarity?
They've been, you didn't get it that good either. And by the way,
well, I said what you said.
Oh, I thought, all right.
Totality.
I didn't nail it either. Well, at first they've been going back and forth for like a couple years, and apparently the Tech Guild's been like, they're being unreasonable, and they're like, they're being unreasonable. And they started out with they want a 4-day work week coupled with significant increases in pay. So they're coming in fairly
less
hot,
work, more money.
They're
ballsy. Usually you go less work, same money.
Yeah.
Maybe that's what they're hoping to get. They're going, we're asking for less work, more money, and we'll be happy with less work.
Exactly.
And same money or same work, more money.
I want to raise. And you go, and here's also a thing, is I want to work 1 day a week. But the thing is, they come in, when they started out, they're not zany. Like you go, I'm not dealing with a crazy person. I'm dealing with a lazy person.
Sure.
So they go, we want to work 4 days a week, even in election season, but we want more money in result of that. Non-performance based annual bonuses. So we want
non-performance based.
Non-performance
They
based.
think they're like a fucking athlete or some shit. I mean, no, actually, that's
not
a
a
lie. 'Cause
bonus.
athletes are actually all performance based.
Well, why is it a bonus then? You just have to, like, that's just a higher salary.
I go, well, you want it to just not be tied to anything. You go, hey, come into my office and just here's like a bag of money. You go, what is this for? You go, nothing.
Just being you.
Just nothing. We're hemorrhaging money, but nothing.
Yeah, that's the other thing. I guess on the other side of this, the New York Times is probably not in its peak right now.
Yeah, well, it's also insane because, Twitter laid off, 2/3 of their workforce. It only got better. Like they also, all of a sudden they start like innovating all these new features, all this stuff when nothing had happened. They're fine.
Right.
You're like, just let them go.
I would like to think the New York Times could probably cut half their staff and no one would notice.
Easily. I'd like to try and sneak into the building.
I mean,
it's like right here.
Really?
You didn't know that? It's across the street.
That's pretty funny.
Dude, it's literally across the street.
If they strike, we should pop over there.
Dude, it's literally right across the street. You walk out and it's right across the street.
I want to work 0 days a week and I want $1 million.
Because I walk by there all the time and I'm like, man, what goes on in here?
Interesting.
Yeah.
Well, I think you know what's going on in there.
Malarkey.
Now, well, yes, a lot of crying.
Well, you know what it is? They are probably like the tech people. These are the tech people. And then they were like, do you know what goes on at tech companies? They have fucking unlimited
we should
cereal,
have a slide,
slides, like I remember I went to the Shopify offices in Ottawa one year because my friend's girlfriend worked there. They had a go-kart track inside.
I mean, some of that stuff, it was all when things were, it's like with that old thing where when things are growing a lot, it's, it's all, everyone's generous. And then when, the thing stops growing as much, it's always kind of like, all right, we need to, start dividing the pie. And then you start fighting over who gets what.
Tighten the belt.
Yeah. When it seems like there's more money coming in the future, everyone's kind of happy. When it seems like things are clamping down a bit, everyone's kind of like scrambling to get their little piece.
Yeah. And I don't think there's a business that has a worse outlook than journalism.
Doesn't seem like it's doing as hot as...
if you were at to bet on any company right now, it wouldn't be the fucking New York Times.
Well, I think a lot of what the tech of the New York Times does is they have to develop pipelines to encrypt the messages from the deep state.
Okay. Yeah, I guess. They got to keep all their handlers happy.
Exactly. I think it's a lot. It's sort of like a sales position. There's a lot of like taking the deep state guys out to games, stuff like that. You're essentially in sales.
You know what? Just as because this is shocking to me, but I just looked at the New York Times company stock, and it just made an all-time high like today.
Okay, so maybe that's why these guys.
So they're making money somewhere.
Well, I wonder what they're doing. It's just
they have a lot of online subscriptions.
They just probably have a crazy amount of subscriptions.
Yeah.
Okay, so then they're doing okay.
Yeah.
So management, that's where we started. They said management's getting bogged down with the negotiations, which they seem as somewhat outlandish, even illegal proposals. The guild has proposed a ban on scented products in the break room. I don't know what that could be. I think
curry. Yeah.
Well, why would they?
None of these non-white foods is stinking up the break room.
Or it's the opposite of that, where these guys, some of the other people that work there keep lighting candles and stuff like that because they're just like, people are stinking this up with weird foods and shit like that.
Right. That's what it is. The passive-aggressive whites who are like kind of like a week from retirement. They go, you know what? This place used to smell like fucking ham sandwiches, which smelled nice and like nothing. And now it's all these exotic foods everywhere.
And there's no chance. There's no chance any white's just ever going to say like, hey, do you mind like if you're going to have, you're going to bring like crazy smelling food.
Can you just eat plain rice?
So I think you got a lot of hippies in there burning incense and stuff like that, being like, no, it's unrelated. Your food smells great. And they're just like, no, none of this incense business. No. The food smells the food smell.
Yeah, we smell the foods.
Unlimited break time.
Unlimited break time.
Unlimited. I guess a lot of places they have like unlimited paid time off. Like a lot of places will give you a limited paid time off, but what they really mean is like if you take more than 3 weeks, you're fired. You know what I mean?
Sure. Obviously, I mean, unless you're somehow unless it's a straight production based company, and you go, hey, well, you're doing all your stuff, but
as long as you get your stuff,
you go,
done,
hey,
whatever.
like you just show up, you go, hey, I gotta go grab something, I gotta go run an errand, you just come back at 5 o'clock, and you go, all right, see you guys.
I guess in this situation, they want someone to come and be like, hey, I need you something to do, and you go, I'm on break. You go, how long are you on break till? However the fuck I want. How long the fuck I want.
Gonna go catch a day matinee baseball game.
Yeah. However the fuck I want to. How about that? I'm going to ride the ferry just for fun.
Wild.
So the unlimited break team, which seems a little high to be like, I want more wanting, less days, unlimited break time, no smells.
No smells.
As well as mandatory trigger warnings in company meetings discussing events from the news. So this is where it starts to get a little
crazy
fucking
because
wacky.
like you're the news, and they got to be like, all right, everybody, cover your ears. We're going to discuss the news at the news. hope this doesn't.
You're fucking. Imagine working at the news.
Dude, we got to sneak in there. We got to get some janitor
I know,
outfits or
right?
something.
Janitor outfits sneak in there and just be. They're like, okay, we're going to be talking about Ukraine today.
That was actually kind of insensitive to Arab people, so don't do that.
Yeah. So definitely being a tech guy, if you're like, hey, you're coming in and someone needs their computer fixed, and you come in and you're like, guys, if you don't mind, we have someone here, and they're like, sorry, the former president, trigger warning, the former president, like trigger warnings at the news is something else.
Crazy.
Seems like they might not be getting all this stuff, so there's maybe a little part of it where they're pouring it on thick, hoping to meet in the middle.
I'll tell you how you know chicks are running the show, though.
I forgot to even mention that.
Is pet bereavement. That's how you know.
Pet bereavement? Yeah.
Unlimited pet bereavement.
Unlimited pet bereavement. Wow, that's an easy one because you got 45 cats.
Yeah, you go, my parakeet died.
My pet ant died today, so yeah, it's gonna be.
So,
what do you expect me to do?
You know how many ants I have?
His name's Morton. I'm supposed to come in. Fucking Morton's dead.
Morton's a Morton.
I'm supposed to just leave his 95 other brothers and sisters in peace. Yeah. Times management's been frustrated with some other proposals. So Times management, the head honchos at Times are just like, really.
They probably wish their fucking stock was in the gutter right now, actually.
Because then they could be
like, hey,
he wants to come out there with like his pockets out, just being like, I would love to give you your unlimited time. But he goes, but this is probably where it got real good. More money for non-white staff and other underrepresented communities to attend conferences. Language that would prioritize non-citizens in the U.S. on visas in the case of layoffs. So this is where I was thinking there's got to be a couple white dudes in this thing that they were doing the meeting. They're like, okay, you're doing your pet bereavement, all this.
Sure.
Guys, hey, I got to dip out. You guys, do you mind like just finishing this off? You're not going to do anything crazy. And it's like, no, we have a couple extra points.
Yeah. I think you're ready for it. I think you're ready for the added responsibility.
He comes back the next day. They're just like, hey, did you add in the thing that all white people are going to get paid less money?
Illegal, first off.
Basically, what they're saying, if anyone gets laid off, it has to be everyone else before the illegal immigrants or people that don't have
That's a tough one,
cards.
too, because they're just like, they're saying that. They go, that's technically illegal. And they go, no person is illegal.
Yeah, exactly.
I go, yeah, but you can't pay people differently expressly based on the race.
Buddy, they must have had like 5 or 6 white dudes in this meeting. Or white people in this meeting, probably more dudes that were just like, yeah, great, the bereavement. And just like, okay, obviously we're going to be doing more money for anyone who's not white. And the guy's like, love that.
I think the white guys
Another
in the New
good
York
idea?
Times don't really pipe up anymore.
You think that
they're just trying to not get fired and keep the pension.
Guy has to put his hostage tape on before he gets into the meeting?
They don't do anything. Like, those guys are just fucking head down.
They're hanging on cliffhanger style on a thread, just being like, if I can make it another year, maybe I get some sort of pension.
Yeah, they just they see the light at the end of this.
I think some of these New York Times white dudes are desperately starting podcasts, being hoping to take off so they could walk away.
Like, where? Well, the problem is like you probably can't even start one because then you probably say something and fire you for it.
Yeah, and both of which paper pointed out they couldn't be fulfilled because that would likely violate employment laws. So it is funny, the paper, they're just straight up coming with like
we
most
can't.
illegal shit.
Well, and you know what? From a negotiating standpoint, to give them maybe the benefit of the doubt here.
They're going hard.
They go, we're going to throw all these crazy things. They're going to give us none of the crazy things, and they're just going to give us more money and less work. And
so you're not going to give the white people less money. However, you are going to get your
You'll
days
give
off.
everybody more money and less work, and then I guess everybody wins. Mm-hmm. Maybe that's then they go, fuck, that's kind of a negotiating.
I couldn't believe when I was seeing some of these demands, though. It was like out of a friggin' sketch.
Lying New York Times, baby.
the wacky New York Times, man. They're getting wackier and wackier, and every time you take a look at them, they're exactly as wacky as you'd think they'd be.
Yeah.
And they actually exceed your wackiness expectations, because I was not sure this was real.
Yeah, I mean, I guess if Trump wins, they're kind of just back to print.
They could be printing more money if Trump gets off, because these guys are, you know what I mean?
If he wins, man, they're just like, all right, we're back, baby.
Well, let me tell you, on the other side of it, that's what's going on at the Lion New York Times. Do you want to know what's going on in Wall Street? Investment banks limit junior employee work week hours to 80 hours.
Yeah. I think we talked about this last week, didn't we? Briefly?
No, we didn't talk about this a while ago.
Oh, yeah. But like I brought, So basically,
because the guy died a while ago, but now they just had the ruling.
Yeah. The guy died. Literally, this dude died. He was a Green Beret. And being a Green Beret,
What's a Green Beret?
It's like this fucking super like elite military dudes or whatever, and like I think they're are they in the Navy? I don't know.
And then he came back and he was like a shark.
It's like a fucking main dude, and then he came back, started working because they love hiring these like high performing military dudes, and then working at like Goldman Sachs killed him. It's like crazy. He was working like these guys are like 120 hours a week, and the problem is they set it up where they're like, yeah, you know, it's you only have to work 100 hours, like, and they say like especially with like these junior guys because you get paid like $250,000 a year, like entry level.
Yeah.
But it's so competitive where they're like everybody's like, well, I'm like, you know, I live here. Like, I don't even go home.
This pussy only worked 95 hours last week.
Yeah.
Come on, grow a fucking
I mean, I
set,
see it all the
pal.
time. Like, if you ever pay attention wherever you live, like a lot of times you'll notice, like, you'll come home after shows at like 1 a.m. or some shit, and a guy walks in like a suit.
I know, yeah.
And you're like, that guy's just like coming from work. And he's
going
probably
back at
to
7.
Work. Yeah, he'll be back at 7, and he showed up like when we're done stand-up.
There has to be some component of it where if they're sleeping 4 hours a night, they're not that good at their...
Well, the problem is, yes, but... like someone else is doing it, and you know, they're all fucking on amphetamines, Adderall, all that
you
shit.
forget about that part.
Like, this is honestly like the business equivalent of like athletics, like professional athletics.
Yeah. You have to be in shape.
You're like in the major leagues of finance, I guess, and so people treat it like, you know, you're like, yeah, Kobe Bryant used to wake up at 4 a.m. and go put up 5,000 shots. You're like, you can do it or don't do it. I don't know.
Yes. Well, this guy died doing what he loved, which is leveraged option trading.
Actuarial tables.
He died doing what he loved, actuarial tables.
And based on those tables, he shouldn't have died. But
yeah. Well, it is funny just to go from the two sides of it. You're like, in the journalism industry, they're like, we need trigger warnings before you talk about the things that are the main thing in our job.
Yeah.
And in finance, they're like, all right, you're only going to have to work. We're going to limit it to double the normal work hour.
Yeah.
The normal work hours that everyone else is doing, we're going to limit it to doing double that. And then on top of that, no one's going to follow it.
Nobody's going to follow it.
Everyone there is just like, yeah, you put 80 hours. Basically, you put 80 hours in your worksheet. But like, if you actually work 80 hours, like everyone else is going to be ahead of you and you're going to be fired.
Exactly. Yeah. So you're like, yeah, I'll just work. I don't know. I'll go to a coffee shop and work if I have to. I'm like, I'm getting 120 hours of work.
Hey, you gave me 100 hours of work and I'm only supposed to work 80? Yeah, figure it out. You fucking, your brain broken?
Yeah.
This is the law.
Yeah, exactly. Well, it's just they go, hey, you're not performing well. And you go, well, I'm only allowed to work 80 hours a week. You go, it's too bad, I guess.
Hey, when you're sitting on your bundle of cash, you know, and every once in a week you get to go to the strip club on Saturday night and, you know, really blow off some steam.
You got a laptop on your laptop just doing spreadsheets and all your hotkeys and everything while some chicks like trying to grind on you and you're like, hey, not right now.
I'm doing some trades right now.
Yeah.
After hours, markets are hot.
That's
trading China currencies.
That's how you get around it. Is you go, I'm not working. I'm at the strip club. You have your laptop with you.
Yeah.
No, I'm just a pervert. This is
what an extreme fucking city this is, man.
Oh yeah. But I mean, you know, if you're one of these guys who works at these things, realistically, you start working when you're 22, and you're like, I can be realistically retired by 35.
You see, and you can make real money where you're like, by the age of 30, you're doing like 5 to a mil.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, you could legitimately be retired. Like if you don't like go crazy, you're like, yeah, I could have $5 million in the bank when I'm 35 years old and just.
But a lot of them do go crazy.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I'm sure the heart attacks are through the roof and all sorts of stuff.
And I'm sure it doesn't help that they're popping all the pills, you know?
No. But, you know, if you're really good, then you get to be like, run some hedge fund and make $100
Now you're really
CEO
cooking.
of Morgan Stanley or some shit.
New York's got wacky stuff going on right and left. So basically, Eric Adams was sort of saying that the Subway, like he's kind of originally on the case was sort of trying to be like, I'm a safety guy, right? Like not a lot of people believed it that much, but he's been kind of pushing that direction. One of the big things he was like, okay, so we're going to start enforcing fares because his idea.
They have private. Have you noticed there's private security enforcement?
No, I didn't notice that.
It's weird. I guess they did some budget stuff and they go, you know what? We don't need cops to enforce fares.
So it's just a guy.
So it's just private security, not armed.
Did you ever see the guys that
and they just stand there? Yeah.
There's a big hustle around here.
That is a big hustle.
Big hustle is the guy stands by the door.
Holds the door
Holds
open.
the door open, and then you go in and he's like, pay me for my service.
Yeah. I mean, it's a good service, honestly.
I mean, it's essentially like a guy stealing for you, and then he wants half of the money.
Yeah.
But it's a big hustle that they got going on.
I mean, it is a smart one because they can't be at every station.
I don't like doing it though because I don't like I don't like the shakedown component of it. I'd rather pay my $275 than get shaken down.
Yeah. I mean, in the event I happen to have,
then they might talk to you and stuff.
I did it actually. Funny enough, I normally do pay it, and then for the first time, I did it the other day only because I happen to have like a loose single in my pocket, and so I just go, here you go, man.
Yeah, whoever has loose singles, you're right.
I know. I just happen to have one, and not even in my wallet. It was like loose in my pocket, so I didn't even have to like go in my wallet. I just was like, all right.
Someone threw it at you when you were on the pole.
Save me $1.90.
Well, apparently, some guy went in. The guy, I guess the cop was like, hey, you didn't pay the fee sort of thing.
Yeah.
They chased him down. Then the cops were like, hey, take your hands out of your pocket. This guy was like,
And this is all because this guy did not pay $2.90.
Yes.
Correct.
Yes. It's kind of, I can see from the other side of it where it's like, this is...
it's the broken windows thing where you're just like, you got to like enforce it so people see you're enforcing it so that they don't do it.
Well, I think the idea is the people that pay, the people that are... If you probably did a graph and you go... The people who go onto the subway to rob people versus the people who go on the subway and pay their fee.
Yeah.
There's probably a pretty big window. So you actually probably are. It's not. Yeah, I know the broken windows thing where you're like policing everyone, but I don't think it's. If you do say like you don't go on the subway unless you pay the thing, you probably do cut out like a lot of the riffraff crime.
Yeah, a lot of the riffraff gets kind of eliminated. That is a fair statement.
It probably. I mean,
most of it.
It may be true that it does make it safer.
For sure it does.
Again, I don't even drive it that much.
So. But I mean, I see the amount of just normal, like, just people I see who just jump over the turnstiles. It's so common.
Well, you're right. I guess it's only at major stations where they have the people here.
But also, if everybody paid their subway fees, this city probably would be doing a lot better.
Well, but more so, I'm saying that this is the type of beast you have to deal with in this city, where a guy goes, I'm going to jump off the turnstile, cops chase me.
4 of them.
For my $2.75.
Four cops making $80 an hour are chasing a guy who didn't pay $2.90.
Tell this guy to take his hands out of his pocket. He's like, fuck y'all.
Yeah.
And then they try to taser him. The tasers don't take. These are the beasts that are on the subway. This is your daily commute. Just a beast. Or a half man, half beast. Trying to tase him. Just for his $2.75. All to save $2.75.
Yep. All to save $2.75.
So this is the trifecta of the city. You have finance guys dying mid option trade, and then you have lying New York
You're
Times
dying
reporters,
somewhere. You're either dying during an option trade, dying on the subway,
dying from the trigger warnings, and the lying New York Times.
Yep.
And then you have a beast on the subway kicking fucking cops.
I didn't even
Tasers
hear
aren't working
about this
on them.
either,
All to save $2.25.
It's crazy. But then they were like shooting everybody. That was the craziest part about this. So then eventually they like this is the craziest part of this whole story is that so then they I guess started shooting, and then they shot 2 bystanders. There were 4 cops.
A little trigger happy.
4 cops shot 2 bystanders. One of the cops got shot.
Yeah.
So these guys are these guys are not well trained.
Well, it's the subway patrol guys.
But they're still like NYPD. These aren't like those private security because they have guns.
I tell you,
but they're just on a busy platform and they're like, stop and pay us the $2.90. And they're like, he's not stopping. You go, open fire. And they're
it is a calamity.
Shot 2 bystanders over $2.90 and a cop got shot.
No, because the reason they started from their side of it, they said apparently they said it was friendly fire, and the cops go, we don't like to use that term, friendly fire. But friendly fire is a funny term.
It's insane.
I don't think you understand how friendly the fire was.
But it's like, how do you shoot another cop trying to just at what point do you go, you know what? Let's take the L here. Let the guy go.
I agree with you. Their side of the story was the guy had his hands in his pocket and he was about to start attacking them, and they were like, hey, take your hands in his pocket, and the guy says, you're gonna have to kill me first. So their take on it was this guy was about to start attacking.
Right. So then they're like, okay.
He's coming right for us.
He's coming right for us, and he's just shooting the wrong direction.
Yeah, these guys are, I mean, the cops are definitely Dumb and Dumber. They're bumping into each other.
Crazy.
I mean, 100% while this was happening, it was playing. Yeah, and the cops chase the guy the one way, then they chase each other the other way.
They go in the door. Yeah. Benny Hill.
Yeah, the cop comes back. He's wearing the cop outfit with the paper, and then he puts the paper down. It was 100% a Benny Hill situation, but you're right. It should be one of those things where they kind of just stand there, but you're right. If a guy goes through, there's not really much you could do.
I mean, that's honestly almost the private security is just better for that because they probably won't, like, private security will deter enough people. Those guys are just like, they're like, all right. Whatever.
Yeah, and you can probably pay the private security a little less.
Way less.
I know.
Private security is probably making a third.
What they need for the private security is it should be like a grandmother who's, 50 to 70 years old.
Yeah.
I guess maybe, 60 to 80 years old. I'm going to reiterate that.
Okay.
And then she stands there and she guilts you. She was like, come on, man, you're going to get me fired from my job.
Yeah,
Like,
she's going to get knocked unconscious.
yeah. Well,
I mean, there's literally a
all
story.
Right, forgot all the punching.
Yeah, there's literally a video the other day of on the upper, I think, east side. Some 88-year-old woman is just like literally standing there minding her business. This guy walks by her, broad daylight, then turns around, walks back, and just knocks her out.
Buddy, the area I moved into, there's a puncher on the loose, and everyone's
Really?
talking. Yeah.
The puncher's back?
That's a new puncher. I'm in the community chats for the thing, and I was looking at they're active, man. These guys are fucking going.
Yeah.
But apparently, what happened was there was a puncher who was on the loose in Greenpoint. He's walking around punching everybody. And
Sure,
then,
this isn't just like an ad for like a new boxing studio. Puncher on the loose. Defend yourself.
yeah,
Learn how to defend yourself now.
That's like your joke where you said there's a gay boxing gym, and if you want to, you can just go punch gay. You just sign up and you just go punch gay
people.
guys.
Yeah.
If you're that guy.
Yeah.
But yeah, so basically the puncher's on the loose, and people, what happened was they got the puncher and they went and put him in jail, and then it was one of those things where they're like, oh, he's crazy, so he shouldn't be in jail, so they put him back out. So everyone keeps being up in arms, apparently. I got the scoop talking to the locals. So apparently what happens is the puncher, they keep taking him, and then they keep putting him back on the streets, and then they put him in a halfway house. There's a halfway house kind of in that area, and then basically he just walks out, and he's back on the loose, and he punches a few more girls, and then they cycle repeats.
But he's punching girls?
The only punches girls.
All right.
Yeah, well, I'm not worried about it myself.
Maybe they should put him in a full-way house.
Do you think there'd ever be a trans person in Brooklyn that would get punched in the face and he's like, thank you?
Go, you affirmed my gender. As much as this is painful.
That would suck, though, the opposite, where it's like he walks up, punches the two girls, looks at
Yeah, he goes, sorry, buddy. Ladies only. You go, what? Ladies only? Fuck
Punch
you.
punch hit me. Hit me.
Yeah, that's damn, dude. The punchers are out there. They really
That's
don't.
the
They
bit.
really don't like fucking locking people up in this city. Like, what do you have to do other than like fucking Diddy?
I guess
what do you got to do?
They say the guy's crazy or something, so then they just put him back on the
He's
street.
obviously crazy.
The girls are up
I
in
love when
arms
they go,
about
yeah,
it.
they're crazy. So let's just put him back on the street.
He's too crazy to be in jail.
He's too crazy to be in jail. City, it is interesting.
It's a hot topic over there,
Well,
though.
they used to have so many they used to just put you in a mental institution, and now,
Yeah.
and then they were like, started putting them in jail, and they go, no, jail's not the right place for them. They go, where's the right place for them? They go, mental institution.
Back in the streets.
Well, we closed those. They go, I guess just let them go.
The guy's just fucking dusting off his fist. He's probably sitting in the jail too every day, just practicing his fucking clocks.
Yeah.
Probably turned he has some mop that he turned,
He's got his pillowcase, and he fills it up with stuff, and he's just fucking boxing it.
knocking it down. Fellas, I'm sure you've heard me talk about Mando whole body deodorant at this point. Now, you can use this on your whole body. Yes, your whole body. It is dermatologist tested, gentle on all your bits, controls odor for 72 hours, clinically proven. You can choose from 4 cologne quality scents or unscented if you want to get stealthy. When you're putting together that Mando bundle, we're talking about the Deo stick with a whole body formula, no aluminum, no benzene, no parabens for pits, packages, feet and beyond, long lasting, doctor developed. We got the Deo cream tube, body wash, cleansing bar, deodorant wipes. Can't recommend this product enough. If you're ready to make that upgrade to Mando whole body deodorant, which is seriously safe to use anywhere on your body, we're talking once again pits, packages, grundle, belly buttons, cracks, folds, feet, anything. It was created by a doctor who saw firsthand how normal BO was being misdiagnosed and mistreated. Mando's American made. It's a whole body deodorant. It's powerful enough for the toughest odor, but gentle enough to use anywhere on your body, including the family jewels. Aluminum free, baking soda free, dye free, clinically proven to control odor better than the shower and soap alone. 12 hours after a shower, the average man's grundle odor was 5 out of 10. With Mando, the average grundle odor is 0 out of 10. So Mando's starter pack is perfect for new customers. It comes with a solid stick deodorant, cream tube deodorant, 2 free products of your choice, like mini body wash or deodorant wipes, and free shipping. Luckily, I got a discount code to help you get hooked on my favorite smelling whole body deodorant on the market. New customers get $5 off the starter pack with our exclusive code, which is BOYSCAST. That equates to over 40% off your starter pack when you use the code BOYSCAST at shopmando.com. That is shopmando.com. I'm sure there's a lot of people out there who have a habit that they've been trying to quit. They have problems doing so. I'm sure that everyone knows which habits we might be talking about. And why not, instead of quitting it altogether, why don't you replace that with a better habit? Instead of bad, Fume's good. Fume is an award-winning flavored air device. So flavored air isn't like vaping. If flavored air was sticky soda, Fume cores are closer to herbal teas. Fume has a lot of delicious flavors to choose from. We're talking crisp mint, orange vanilla. With flavored air, you can satisfy your oral fixation through a passive diffusion system that utilizes electronics, vapor, or combustion. I'm in New York. I got a whole bunch of people I know that are using Fume. I got one right now. I have 2. I have one in my office. I have one sitting by my editing station that I use. It's fun to play with. It draws flavor to your mouth, fills the void so you can ditch that bad habit. Fume is not a vape. No vapor. You can use it anywhere. You can use it on the plane. No nicotine. It's not addictive. No toxic flavors. No batteries. You know, anywhere you go, you could take this. You're not worrying about charging, none of this stuff. But more importantly, you're quitting the habit that you're trying to get rid of out of your life. Made to fidget with, calms anxiety with magnets, snaps, and clicks. As you know, sometimes when you're quitting, that can be a hard period. So this can help that. Fume continuously invests in third-party studies to ensure the safety of their products, backed by doctors in the US. And right now, Fume has served over 300,000 customers. So you can be the next success story. Add to the list of people that I know that have been doing this for a limited time. You use the code BOYSCAST. You get a free gift with the Journey Pack. You just head on over to tryfume.com. That is TRYFUM. Use the code BOYSCAST and get a free gift with your order today. You want to see the craziest ad? When I came back to New York, saw the fucking wildest ad. Okay, Black Girl Vitamins. Read that.
Black girls need more D3.
Well, it says black girls need more D.
Oh, D. And then
they have a 3 and sort of silent. But it's
that's
like,
clever.
Is that not wild though? And I saw the ad and I was like, that's the craziest thing. We'll put it on the screen. That was the craziest thing. It goes, it just says black girls need more D.
Yeah.
And it's like this huge billboard. They're all over. And I looked it up.
But it's a black girl. It's a black vitamin.
Black vitamin company. And I looked it up because I was like, is this like a joke or some sort?
Yeah.
And there was like all these Reddit threads, all these things being like, what the fuck is this? Everyone was thinking the same thing I'm thinking.
Let's just hope all the flavors aren't just like purple, red, orange.
Yeah.
You go, this is kind of a lot.
Yeah, better be run by a black girl. That's gonna be pretty racist. Just
come on, watermelon chewable vitamins.
if there's like a white dude at the top of the fucking black girls need more D.
Hey, that guy better be the janitor.
Just like some like hood Queens white dude that just loves black chicks. You know what I mean? Like, yo, they need more D, fam.
More D.
All right, so Danny, our group chats have been lighting up.
Yeah.
With Hezbollah pagers exploding across Lebanon.
New ones today,
Your
too.
people, the Jews, have been exploding.
Diabolical. This is fucking diabolical.
Nearly 3,000 casualties. Pagers that blow you up.
Dude, did you see all the new ones today?
It's going off.
Dude, the new ones is now they're like walkie-talkies started exploding everywhere. Everything's blowing up. Everything has a battery in it that they communicate.
And so, one of our friends in the chat group said he knew someone that owned like a lithium or mine or something.
Lithium mine, yeah.
And he was like, well, they're very flammable, but it's like they don't really explode. So he was kind of saying
they don't explode, but they light on. So this is from what I understand, because I one time
what you understand from the meetings,
correct? From what I was told, but no. So like maybe I want to say maybe 8 years ago or something, I had an iPhone and remember when the iPhones were like their software and they were intentionally making the batteries suck on the software or whatever. And
did they stop doing that?
No, they did because it
called it illegal.
They called it illegal or whatever. But so they had something where you're like, oh, if you just replace your battery, you can just on your iPhone. And then I was like, I just ordered like a battery on eBay. It was like $20. I was like, I'll just swap it out, right? And so I was in my apartment in Toronto and I'm swapping out the battery, and they give you like this little fucking plastic thing, but there was also a screwdriver, but you're supposed to use this plastic thing, and I was using the screwdriver.
You were fucking operating?
And I was using the screwdriver because the battery's like glued in there, right? And as I'm trying to yank the battery out with the screwdriver, I puncture the battery, and oxygen hits lithium and it just lights on fire. So I had a fire in my apartment. I went and grabbed my phone. I throw it in a fucking pot. I go and put it out on my balcony, and my fucking
All to save $1, huh?
all to save like maybe $100. I bricked like a $800 phone.
Ooh.
Yeah. Like it was like ruined completely.
Where was this?
This is in Toronto.
Toronto?
Yeah, this is in Toronto. I ruined the phone completely. Like it was just like it was on fire, melted everything. So lithium, when it's exposed to oxygen, can instantly lights on fire.
That's wild.
Instantly, yeah.
But there's a difference between lighting on fire. Like if that was the explosion.
But so this is what happened. This is what I understand with the pagers from what I read. Is so Hezbollah, which is in Lebanon, ordered these because I guess like they were getting all their shit intercepted for their traditional means of phones or whatever. So
yeah.
Like we're going to use these pagers because like those pesky Jews can't get into our pagers. Right?
And they don't like that low technology. And also, it's also pretty easy to get Middle Eastern dudes back on board with pagers. They were probably pumped to go back to the roots of a big fucking pager.
Yeah. They just want
That's a
they need something. They go, I still have the holster.
That's right. They were probably loving going back to their roots, man.
So anyways, apparently they ordered like 5,000 pagers from Taiwan, and then somehow Israel intercepted the whole shipment. And I guess they must have just taken apart each one, put explosives inside the like hollow areas of the pagers, and then somehow remotely overheated the batteries. I guess you can make the batteries heat up like remotely somehow, overheated the batteries, which then ignited the explosive.
Fucking some space laser technology, man.
This is space laser shit. This is like, I mean, this is classic Mossad shit, really. But
I guess, right?
Dude, I had a teacher I remember told me in the 90s, he always used to talk about this. There was like this dude in Hamas, and he was like some bomb maker in Hamas in the 90s that the Mossad wanted to take out. And this is when you had those big, like the Zach Morris like cell phone bricks or whatever, and then they basically found like a mole in Hamas, the IDF, and they offered the mole like $1 million, and I believe American residency or citizenship. I don't know if it's citizenship, but they're like, we'll get you out of here and $1 million. Get us
not a bad deal for an
get us
ex-Hamas
this guy's
dude.
Phone, right? And so he stole the phone, snuck it out, gave it to the Mossad.
Can you imagine being in Hamas, getting caught stealing your boss's phone?
Death
by torture.
Yeah, by torture. But anyways, they got the phone out, and it was like the big brick phone, and they replaced in the earpiece, just put a bunch of fucking plastic explosives in there, put it back, and then he was like in like a public square. They're watching him, and he like, I think they called him. He picks up the phone, they press a button, and just head explodes.
Whoa.
Yeah. So
some real
not
shit,
the first time
man.
they did shit like this.
I mean, this is a mass scale.
And then today, there's all
they're
this
getting the walkie-talkies. Now they're going to be afraid to use any communications.
Well, that's the plan, I guess. That really fucks him over.
What happened? Yeah, it's like a beeper apparently, and if they don't accept a high interest loan, apparently, fucking.
Yeah, they go, what is this? 88% APR? This surely can't be right.
Should have thought of that before. Well, after examining the facts, the heinous attack that took place, we hold the Israeli enemy fully responsible. So I guess Israel hasn't taken credit, but
I think they took credit.
Although you think now they're saying like they're sort of admitting like, it was us, good shit. Eh?
Oh, for sure. Yeah, they are. Because I mean, that's like,
I thought they were at first they were saying like, nah, dog.
No. I mean, maybe, well, at first it was kind of like, I guess journalists are like, hey, until we get a confirmed report, like, we're not going to, like, that's who makes sense. But then I think they did take credit for it. And then I think what's happening is they're just expecting that they're going to just go invade Lebanon and go to war with them.
There is some, this
is just the start of it. We'll kind of just fuck them up a little bit.
And hopefully Big Daddy America is going to come in there, grab their back, right?
That's the plan.
That does sound like a very Joe Biden-y plan.
Yeah.
There is the assassination attempts. There is stuff going on right and left. Johnny Glover had a pretty funny point where he goes, because apparently today they said that they found some explosive near Trump's rally, and they go, it's basically Trump is the fucking roadrunner now, and they're Wile E. Coyote. Like Trump's just like every room he walks into is a bowling ball candle.
Yeah.
Like it's like that's like the third thing. I mean, I don't know what the explosive one is, but the guy is.
They're trying to take him out. That's what I was hoping with the debate. I was hoping so badly where he would just be like, "You tried to kill me."
He didn't really go on one of those.
But just to Kamala Harris, just insinuating
specifically.
You guys tried to kill me.
He didn't really want to go too deep into that.
No.
I'll tell you what. When you're speaking of Kamal, what she definitely didn't like doing, and especially the media, and a lot of them didn't do it that much, even when they were doing the assassination attempt coverage, they kept saying Trump pivots from second apparent assassination. So I watch every article, they say apparent assassination attempt. They're very careful not to confirm it.
Someone who could have just been hunting.
Yeah, it sounds like there's
Just, some of that golf course hunting like you like to do down in Florida.
But I was thinking that must be their least favorite thing in the universe for them to have to write that tweet, where they're just like, I'm glad he's okay. That's got to hurt every bone in their body.
Yeah.
If you're the media, the media can kind of just stay, we're sorting the news. But like a lot of these politicians have to come out with their like,
violence.
Glad he's okay.
Violence isn't the answer.
Winking.
Wink. It's never the answer.
It's literally your fucking ex-girlfriend's new boyfriend almost dies, and you're supposed to say that you're really good. Dude, imagine Trump had to do a ode to Rosie O'Donnell. Like Rosie O'Donnell died, and they had to ask him, and he had to be like, no, glad Rosie's okay. Yeah. Like that fucking hurts their fingers. They probably did so many parent drafts. They're just
they probably think it's bad for like Kamala's chances. They go, this actually just like probably lost her a point.
Of course, it always does.
Keep trying to kill
He gets
him.
a little bump on those assassination attempts, man. Every time you dodge a bullet, you're fucking popping up.
Yeah, I mean, that's this one was pretty wild. And then they're like, well, this guy was a Republican. And they're like, no, he was not.
I'll tell you what's going on with the Secret Service. They're doing wacky stuff right and left. So some people have said that their kind of thing is they're trying to say, like, listen, like golf courses are a pain in the ass for Secret Service, which there is probably some little truth to that, where you're just like every time.
I mean, that is true. Like a golf course.
You get to know the course real well,
Yeah, I mean, golf course. I could see that. Like a lot of courses, unless it's like a links course where it's wide open, you're like, yeah, there's a million places someone could be.
I would say on the Trump side, you could probably take a day off golf for a few. You might want to take a month.
No. Dude, Trump was literally like he was most bummed about. He goes, I was 2 under when they found him. I have to fucking end my round.
If you're Trump right now, you might want to take a day off your huge public. You know what I mean?
I mean, this is just spoken to someone who doesn't golf.
Well, the Secret Service, a lot of people are kind of saying this puts into question whether the Secret Service can handle covering him, and they're sort of being like, I don't know what to do. The guy's everywhere. We can't do. They're sort of throwing their hands
golf
up, being
course,
like, we don't have enough to do it.
If you were a target, like if I was a target for some sort of repeated
he needs his own security.
I mean, even still, you're like, there's just all these places I just wouldn't be. Like, if I was really worried about getting killed,
seems like he's not or something.
Yeah, he doesn't care. I think he thinks he has God on his side.
He thinks he's invincible a little bit. I think so too.
Yeah, I think so.
Definitely comes across that way. Some people have said he's a little shaken from the last one, but it appears that he's still out and about.
I mean, again, if I was really nervous, I would not be leaving my house, let alone going to a fucking golf course.
I definitely wouldn't be out and about in that way.
No, I mean, like the Pope's not golfing. He's in his little Pope mobile.
Well, there has been people. Yeah, that's true. There has been people have been saying the Secret Service is kind of doing a sloppy job.
Yeah,
and it does. And they're even sort of saying that, like, well, he needs too much security, and we got other stuff to do.
And our orders have been to lay off on the security.
It does seem like they're fucking
coming from the top is just
that's what I'm saying.
Let some things slide.
Definitely. If you are in any way conspiratorial minded, it starts to make you think. You know what I mean?
Sure.
Especially right now after the first assassination attempt, you think there'd be a month where they're just like over the top.
Yeah. I mean, you'd think you'd be like, all right, fool me once. But we're definitely not going to let this happen again.
Secret Service accidentally includes 9/11 terrorist attack in their post honoring the victims. That's another blunder from the service.
Oops, what did they do?
Didn't you know a Secret Service guy? Didn't we know?
Yeah, we did. Yeah,
that's how you got your shit.
Yeah, that's how I got my sweater.
Secret Service accidentally includes 9/11 terrorist in post honoring victims. So they basically probably one of the funniest blunders in history, man.
Yeah, whoops.
So they did a 9/11 post, and they're basically. However amount it was died, they included the people that died from hijacking the planes.
Yeah, that doesn't count.
And they said, we erroneously included the total number of deceased from the September 11th attack, which included the hijackers. They apologized for that. Our bad.
Oops. Getting real sloppy over there with the Secret Service.
Well, this guy... Apparently, he's a pretty wacky guy, which obviously anytime there's going to be a guy that's an assassination attempt guy, there's going to be a pretty wacky guy. But
yeah.
He wrote it. He went
not the first guy. We still don't know anything about him.
You don't
Was
really
he wacky?
Well, all we know is that he went and protested in Ukraine.
No, I'm talking about the first guy, Thomas Crooks.
First guy,
Thomas Crooks, who shot him. We still don't know anything about him.
Yeah, that seems like old news.
That was the last assassination attempt. This is the current one. We're off that one. We don't care about that
He's
one.
still living in the past, dude.
Yeah, I'm still living in the past. 2 months ago. Who is this guy?
So he wrote this book, and he has some interesting parts in the book. I'll just read a sentence. He goes, You are free to assassinate Trump, Ruth wrote of Iran in an apparently self-published 2023 titled Ukraine's Unwinnable War, which he described the former president as a fool and a buffoon.
He wasn't even in power when they went to war, though.
Yeah, no, this is weird. He goes, for both the January 6, 2021 Capitol riot and the tremendous blunder of leaving the Iran nuclear deal, which I'm pretty sure wasn't him either.
Yeah, that's all he rails about is that Biden did that.
So there's wacky stuff going on.
That's what gave him all this oil money and stuff.
You know what there's been a ton of lately, which is interesting? Like a lot of these fact-checking places, like all these media sources, they also run fact-checkers just to be like, just so you know, what Trump said's a lie. Like they do a lot of that. And they've been getting fact-checked a bunch.
Good. I mean, the ABC, I don't know, do you see the ABC?
It's just so funny being a fact checker. Like, Trump will say something, and they'll be, like, one of the ones, there was a couple of them, Seattle Times, well, I mean, obviously, they got fact checked because they were basically, when he said people took over Seattle, and then they were like, actually, they did not. And then the fact checkers are like, they did.
Yeah, we all remember that. I don't even need a fact checker.
There was the surgeries for illegal immigrants or whatever, but they were doing these fact checks. And then that's getting fact checked, being like, which is, I mean, it all goes to show you why you're just like, yeah, you can't trust someone to be in charge of information because they're all like,
everybody has an agenda. I mean, even the ABC, there was an ABC whistleblower dude who put out an affidavit and all this stuff saying that he works at ABC. And for the debate that they did on ABC, where he's like, yeah, it was kind of rigged. Like it was decided in advance that they would fact check Trump a lot, and they prepared a lot and basically predicted the type of stuff that he was going to say. And then Kamala Harris
who was the whistleblower?
They don't know. It's not known. But he released like an affidavit under penalty of like perjury, essentially.
What does that mean?
Saying like if I'm lying, it's a criminal offense because it's like a affidavit is like a formal legal document.
So if you go, I'm lying, but you don't get to know who I am.
Well, no, they know who he is.
The people who
I think they know who he is. I'm just saying it's for public consumption. We don't know who he is. But essentially, and he was like Kamala Harris got a bunch of like essentially.
I didn't know that's what an affidavit
didn't
was.
Get the questions, but got like question examples that were very similar to the questions she was asked. And like they didn't fact check her at all, and they fact checked him, I think, 5 times.
Yeah, I know. You thought at least they'd fact check him on the rally part, being like, we're going to fact check that Israelis are sick.
Yeah. He's the sickest Israelis. It's like a fucking Stones concert.
So, since this assassination attempt, there's been a lot of people that have been getting in trouble. Local funny man, Elon Musk in trouble. Don Lemon. Don Lemon.
The Elon Musk tweet was pretty
I know. Well, the Don Lemon one was, well, with your both, but Don Lemon, he was slammed for mocking the video of Melania Trump asking questions about the assassination. So she's basically like, what's going on here? He's sort of playing it cool, being like, they did a good job, and she's out there being like, what's going on here,
Yeah,
folks?
what's going on?
He posted a video of him responding to it where he rolls his eyes and he goes, and to be honest, some people were saying it was, not tactful or whatever, obviously, but I kind of don't mind that Don Lemon's just back to being a sassy gay. That is where he belongs.
He's a sassy gay TikToker.
He's a sassy gay TikToker.
He's not Don Lemon of CNN.
Right. And it suits him better. To be completely honest, him making TikToks of him rolling his eyes at Melania Trump actually is his personality.
Yeah, I mean, Joe Rogan says it, but what's the point of having fuck you money unless you use it, Right. He has fuck you money.
Don Lemon's got some fuck you money, and I think he has reverted back a little bit. I know he's doing the street interviews. He still obviously wants fame and he wants to get back in the limelight, but him rolling his eyes at Melania, that is who he is.
Yeah, for sure.
So I kind of don't mind him just being honest. You're a sassy gay guy, the sassy gay TikToker.
Yep, you're a sassy gay talker, and that's it.
So Elon Musk, local funny man.
Local funny man.
He says, no one is even trying to assassinate Biden, Kamala, and then, the thinky face.
Thinky face, yeah.
And the thing...
And then he was like, oh, that was a sarcastic joke.
Well, this crushed in the chat groups with his tech bros.
Yeah.
You can almost guarantee that he was in a few chat groups where this was
that's
rocked.
grounds for the FBI showing up at your house, that's for sure. Did you see the Jeremy Coffin thing?
What, the who?
Jeremy Coffin?
No.
The New Hampshire libertarian guy?
What did he do?
Oh, he's a man. But I think he runs the New Hampshire libertarian account.
Okay.
And he's like the Free State Project guy or whatever.
I don't
he's a good
really
dude.
know what this stuff is.
I met him before. Anyways, he's a libertarian guy from New Hampshire. And he tweeted, I think something that's a pretty veiled, like, assassination thing, where essentially, like, something similar to Elon Musk. And then the FBI showed up. It has like 30 million views on Twitter. But the FBI showed up to his house to question him about it, and then he just absolutely berates them. Like
I saw that.
Yeah, and he just shit talks them, and essentially until they just leave.
Oh, it's like the Canada one where the guy showed up. Fucking right, you're gonna be getting used to us, bud. Unless you stop posting bad stuff about Trudeau.
Exactly. Yeah. And then he just gives them shit, and they leave.
Well, it's funny always looking at what's going on in Canada because basically, I don't know if you saw, but basically, this woman had a squirt gun, then she squirted her neighbor, and the neighbor said that she fucking assaulted her with a weapon.
Yeah,
the police came and put the person with
and
the
then
squirt
she had a
gun in jail.
GoFundMe, and GoFundMe shut down her GoFundMe. She had a GoFundMe for her fucking legal case. She's like a teacher or something.
That's the ultimate Karen. You get shot with a squirt gun, you call the police.
Yeah, but the Karen was a dude.
I know.
Neighbor guy, and she just was like
dorky ass dude.
I mean, I'm sure there's a little more to the story, but regardless, like getting shot with a squirt gun in small town Ontario in like Simcoe County, and you're like, I'm fucking calling the police.
So the FBI showed up to this guy's house to dress him down for making his tweet, and then
he told them
we
have some questions, and it's so funny because
kick grass.
Because I'm curious how busy these two FBI agents were during 2016 to 2020 when there was 5,000 daily threats on Trump's life. I'm sure they were going to every one of those people's homes.
So you think you're saying that right now they're
all of a sudden they care again. They go, oh, it's serious now. They keep trying to kill Trump or whatever, and but now they care again. And so because that was the protocol. Like before 2016, it was kind of understood that if you make a public threat against the president,
right,
you are receiving a visit.
Yeah,
like that was everybody goes, yeah, you can't do that. And then it was 4 years of like, yeah, you could totally do that. That's totally fine. Go ahead. Threaten him however
Kathy Griffin got shit for hers, though.
She got shit for hers, yeah. But I'm saying
she didn't really get shit. She just sort of got shit in her career. She probably didn't.
Well, I think she said she might
have got some CIA.
I think she
FBI
had
shit.
difficulty flying for a bit. Like she was getting kind of like secondary inspections and whatnot. But anyways, a regular person on the internet, like during Obama, I feel like I'm going to kill Obama. You're like, someone's showing up to your house.
Of course.
Right? And
with
then,
bells on.
With bells on. And then anyway, and then they showed up at Jerry Coffin's house, these two FBI agents. He's videotaping them. And like, can you please not videotape us? He's like, dude, I'm videotaping this. This is going on the internet the second you leave. Like he was telling
these guys hated they hated having it. Seemed like some of the guys probably work at these places probably like, you think I want to be fucking doing this, pal?
I mean,
this is the equivalent.
The question is, why do they have so much free time?
It's the equivalent of me getting the graveyard shift.
Yeah, like that. Yeah, but also they're like, there's not much else for them to do.
Right.
There's so many. The FBI probably is expanding on an annual basis, like their employees. So there's probably just not that much stuff to do. So now they're back to, hey, I guess we're going to check into tweets.
And there probably is. I wonder if they keep expanding the amount of people that are in charge of going knocking on doors, Jehovah's Witness style, to be like, did you threat the president?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And you go, which one?
yeah.
You go, Trump a lot. No, not the new one though.
Well, Elon Musk, local funny man's been in hot water for his because he can't. Basically, people were mad. He was just like, I was joking, which I do actually believe because that is like classic. That is classic type of a message that would be happening in a fucking Austin group chat.
Yeah. I don't think he was serious. He's like wink, wink, everything.
No, obviously not serious. His joke was, I think, in my opinion, tell me if I'm wrong. My opinion is his joke was, she's so crappy, no one even tries to assassinate her.
Yeah.
I think that was the point he's making.
Yeah, but
he probably got like fucking 9 out of 10 ha-has in the group.
Yeah, killer Elon, post it. Fucking cock Elon, post it. And he goes, all right.
Crushed it again. How do you do it?
How do you do it?
It's a lower bar for you.
You are the new onion, Elon.
I guarantee he was getting that.
Elon, you are currently 2005 onion right now with what you're tweeting.
I think he dropped that 6 or 7 times before he made it to his profile.
Yeah, for sure.
It was crushing. It was, it's audience is everything, right?
Yeah.
Because he thought that was tried and tested material that he was dropping.
Yeah, that's a good thing to send to your 200 million followers.
Same with his... And then he goes, Elon Musk's daughter responds to him for saying that he wanted to impregnate Taylor Swift. So as another one, he goes, fine, Taylor, after they were going back and forth because she endorsed
Kamala.
Which, by the way, the polling was showing that it didn't actually help. People were saying, I don't know if it's true or not, but the polling was saying that after...
when they polled 13-year-olds, it didn't help with Kamala Harris's...
No, they polled undecided people, and apparently the Taylor Swift tweet actually turned them off a little bit.
Oh. Yeah.
That's what they said.
I don't know. Yeah, maybe.
Elon Musk's daughter responds, because he said, fine, Taylor, you win. I will give you a child and guard your cats with my life. And then Hillary Clinton responded to this being like, he means rape.
Yeah, he means rape.
Which is fun. Hillary Clinton needs to jump to conclusions map on that one a little.
Yeah, he goes, fine. He should have said, I'll sire you a child. That would have been more appropriate.
Well, I think that's what Hillary Clinton, you know what her life's like. Even when Bill Clinton, probably back in the day, was like, I'm going to give you a child. She's like, I will give you a child.
He goes, oh, Hill dog, no.
I'm going to give you a child, Hillary. You're going to rape me?
You're going to rape me?
So it's a little bit of a jump to conclusions.
Yeah, that's a bit of a stretch.
Bit of a stretch, but he has been going off on Twitter and he's been getting in trouble. But the funny part to this was his daughter response. So his daughter's becoming a problem for him. Because everything she posts becomes news, right? Every time his trans daughter goes against him, every news station's like, fucking get him. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Heinous incel nonsense is in fact heinous incel
funny
nonsense.
Calling your biological father
fucked your mom
an incel. Yeah, exactly. I go, I made you. Not exactly celibate.
Calling your dad's incel's the best because he smashed your mom.
Yeah, I know, it's crazy. Like, incel just doesn't even mean incel anymore.
I know.
At all.
I don't really have anything to add to it. It's just abhorrent. That much is obvious. If you don't see how, then you're part of the problem. Yeah, calling your dad an incel is incredible. And then Trump wrote, I hate Taylor Swift. That ruffled some feathers. So people's tweets have been...
That was a weird truth of his.
A lot of tweets have been news recently.
I hate Taylor Swift.
Yeah, I thought that was a fucking crappy tweet.
Yeah, that was not one of the best ones.
Oh, it was back to his 12-year-old girl era.
Yeah, I think that was was that an early day one? Because I was listening to Trump on Lex Friedman, and Trump basically said that he stops tweeting after like 2 p.m.
That's his new thing?
Yeah, he goes, I don't tweet late at all. Because one, he gets in shit for it, because then people are like, what are you doing up late tweeting? And he goes, you don't even know what time zone I'm in. Like, he even said that. He goes, you don't know what time zone I'm in. Like, how do you know where I am? But then he's like, I got so much shit for tweeting late, so he goes, I only just do it.
It's a pretty good rule for him.
Yeah, during the day.
Yeah, he might, or schedule them, you know what I mean? Schedule them.
No,
if you haven't,
they come from the dome.
I know they come from the heart and from the dome.
Trump does not operate that way.
Then what they should do is he should...
Hey, Tom, can you schedule my I hate Taylor Swift tweet for 5 p.m.
Then you wake up in the morning and see if you still want to fucking bang it out, you know?
Nah. No. There's no sober thought on these.
He's
tweets.
definitely coming from the dome, but
Shooting from the hip.
I hate Taylor Swift. I didn't find was a great tweet.
Nah, I don't know what that was.
But I was thinking if the assassination attempt did work, that'd be a funny last tweet.
It's so crazy though, because you're like, obviously Taylor Swift endorses Kamala Harris.
Yeah.
Who else is she going to endorse?
Well, some people weren't sure if she was going to come out with it.
Yeah, but that's, I mean, honestly...
Well, she gets it from both sides, though, because I don't know if you know this, but on the other side, they all call her, like, a closet Republican. So, like, a lot of the Democrat people online are just like, she's actually a Republican, country star, liar. She doesn't support us.
I'm sure...
So she kind of can't win.
At least half her audience is, at least or the parents anyways, are probably Republicans.
She sort of gets it both ways because the people that she says she's got, that's a big sort of Democrat thing, right? You say you're Democrat and they go, no, you're fucking not.
Yeah. I did see something there where some mom was like, after that, she endorsed Kamala Harris, some mom sold her kids tickets. Because then she's like, we're not a Taylor Swift family anymore.
Oh, yeah? I'm glad there was a few of that. It's funny.
Dump the tickets. It's like the Pepsi and fucking Nike all over again.
I mean, you probably made some money on the sale.
Yeah,
anyway,
she goes, they did all right. We're going to go on a nice vacation.
Yeah, well, I think that's what's happened. The daughter is like, why can't I go to Taylor Swift anymore? And she was like, I don't think you saw what happened, so we have to get her $2,000 refund.
I'm going to have to sell these for fucking $5,000 a pop, so sorry.
The first thing I do every morning, fellas, when I wake up is AG1. Danny's on it. Mm-hmm. I'm on it. At this point, it's been years.
It's coffee. You got the system. Put the coffee on. Do the AG1 while the coffee's going. Drink the AG1. Rinse and repeat.
Rinse and repeat. No more multivitamins. It helps you build a healthy morning routine in just 60 seconds. You get your daily dose of vitamins, minerals, pre and probiotics, adaptogens, and more. That's why we've been drinking AG1 for years now. It is daily self-care for you. I know I'm doing at least one good thing for my body every day when I start with AG1. Gives my body the vitamins, minerals, and more that I need. First thing I do in the morning, AG1 contains prebiotics, probiotics, gut-supporting ingredients to support your digestion, reduce bloating, keep you regular. A research study said 80% of participants noticed less gas and bloating after 30 days of drinking AG1. A research study, 97 participants felt digestion improved after 90 days of drinking AG1. And a recent research study, AG1 was shown to double the amount of healthy bacteria in the gut. Gut bacteria, by the way, not talked about enough. These healthy bacteria work together to break down food and are known to alleviate bloating, to promote digestive regularity, and aid in digestive comfort long term. The best thing about AG1 is it helps fill the nutrient gaps and supports your gut for a healthy digestion. Also, it is definitely better than taking all these pills. They have travel packs that I take with me every single time on the road. So if you want to start with AG1, notice the difference for yourself. It's a great first step to investing in your health. And that's why they've been a proud partner of the BOYSCAST for a long time. So try AG1, get a free bottle of vitamin D3, K2, and 5 free AG1 travel packs with your first purchase at drinkag1.com/boyscast. That is, folks, a $48 value for free if you go to drinkag1.com/boyscast to check it out. Prizepicks is America's #1 daily fantasy sports app with over 5 million active members. Prizepicks is the easiest and most exciting way to play daily fantasy sports. Unlike other apps, on Prizepicks, it's just you against the numbers. All you do is pick more or less on 2 to 6 player stat projections. Watch the winnings roll in. You can now win up to 100x your money, 100 times for those of you, on Prizepicks with as little as 4 correct picks. Prizepicks is the best way to get action on sports in most states, including California, Texas, and Georgia. Prizepicks puts their members first, so all withdrawals are fast, safe, and secure. When my picks hit, I get my money out in as quick as 15 minutes.
Prizepicks is super easy to use. As mentioned, you just pick less or more. Today, I am picking from baseball. We got Framber Valdez on the Houston Astros. I'm doing more than 5.5 pitcher strikeouts. And then we're moving over to the pitch. We got Lionel Messi, the GOAT. I'm going over 52.5 passes attempted. And that'll be my locked in for today. So
when you download the Prizepicks app today, you're going to use the code BOYSCAST, and then you're going to get $50 instantly when you play $5. That's code BOYSCAST on Prizepicks to get $50 instantly when you play $5. You don't even need to win to receive the $50 bonus. It's guaranteed. Prizepicks, run your game. Well, one of the funniest things to me is always that with Elon Musk, obviously if you're like a climate activist, all that sort of stuff, you've had a hate for him.
Yeah.
Like this guy is not, you've wanted to hate him, but in this weird way, they can't because he's kind of like the environmental guy,
Yeah. He's an environmentalist.
But they finally found their loophole. So these climate protesters breaking into the Tesla's Germany factory, multiple people got arrested. They're busting in. And what they basically said was he's trying to expand the factory.
To make more electric cars?
Yes.
Which is...
They're digging for a loophole because they started... It was like they probably had these... they've been probably racking their brains being like, we know we don't like this guy.
Yeah, we hate this guy.
How? How does this fit in? Right?
It still doesn't even make sense.
They know they can be the speech guy. They're like, we're not really a speech club. We're kind of fucking climate people.
Yeah.
We can't dip too far into that. So they're digging around, and then they find out, they're like, he's expanding he's like, well, he's expanding his factory. And to do that, he's going to have to like tear down some of the grass
some wetlands or some shit.
Right. So they finally, this must have been like Eureka. The guy came in after an all-nighter being like, I got it.
That's still, that makes with someone like, well, but it's to make more electric cars.
Well, they haven't gotten that far. It's just like, this is good enough,
Someone's
man.
like,
it'll have to do.
May I interject? I just have a note.
Well, I think that these people, that's probably as bad as having to write the sympathy tweet about Trump's assassination. These people have to not hate Elon Musk, technically, right? So they finally found their loophole.
You can't find a problem with the rockets or something?
I feel like they should have just stayed away from the Teslas and find one of his other businesses, but that's not their thing, though. They're the environmental people.
Yeah,
you're saying find some environmental problem with the carbon from the rockets.
Yeah, exactly. The satellites,
This is what they came up with.
All right, well, they're
busy people. They don't have tons of brainstorming,
No, or tons of brain.
Exactly. Fucking got them.
Turkeys.
These turkeys don't have enough brain.
Nope.
Well, speaking of Kathy Griffin, this is what she said. She fears if comedian Donald Trump becomes president again, he's going to pick us off one by one. She's basically saying Trump's going to kill them.
I can't wait for the Nuremberg trials of all the late night hosts. It's just Seth Meyers, Colbert, Kimmel, Fallon, all in just like a fucking plexiglass box. as they're being put on trial for war crimes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's going to pick us off one by one like bowling pins. And I'm not kidding, and I'm not being paranoid. So I think you're probably
I mean, I agree. You're not kidding.
I think Trump's going to kill Jimmy Kimmel.
No, I don't think so.
Pick him off like bowling pins. He might say some mean tweets at you, yeah.
I mean, I think the whole late night thing's just taking care of itself. I don't think you have to worry too much about it. It's just going to eventually atrophy. I mean, Tonight Show just dropped a day.
I guess their argument is like we have a lot of viewers, they're just online.
Yeah.
But you can't have like a 90-person staff, or 90.
Fallon was 200.
You can't have a 200-person staff when you have a YouTube video every week that does a few million views. Like they're running a YouTube channel but they're running it like an old school TV network. Yeah. I think the thing is they get their ads probably sell for way more money and they have way more of them. But that gap is closing.
Yeah.
The gap is closing.
Actually, you know what?
Probably.
Maybe we could have a Nuremberg trial for Strike Force 5. That was something that should have never happened.
I guess some of these guys could transfer over and get some of these big Netflix deals and stuff like that, but I don't know if the numbers of watching is going to justify it for them.
No, nobody watches that shit. They just watch the clips on YouTube.
Right, but you don't make enough money for the clips on YouTube to have like a 90,000.
You're not making that like Procter and Gamble money kind of thing.
Yeah, so I don't know what's going to happen, but...
Yeah, what other comedians do you think are on the chopping block if Trump gets elected?
She thinks it's the late night hosts, her and
Chelsea
Rosie O'Donnell.
Handler.
Chelsea Handler.
Yeah.
Yeah, she thinks it's going to be one by one.
I mean, maybe Rogan, because, they had their little beef.
I think that's sorted now.
No, in her heart of hearts, Rogan will be spared by the benevolent Trump.
One of the weirdest times that I've been alive, man. The shit that's going on. It's crazy. You ever been
50 days?
Remember when we were in Europe and if we were doing 6% Zins and then we switched and the guy showed up with the 13th Zins.
Yeah.
And then we took one and you're like, this is crazy. By number 2, it feels exactly normal.
Yeah.
That's what's happening with the world right now.
I mean, a Trump assassination attempt and you're just like,
There's one on the way here.
Yeah, I don't know.
One on the way here. They're like, we found a bunch of... Me and Johnny were filming. Me and Johnny literally filmed a video about the other assassination attempt. Mm-hmm. And on the way back from that, we read that there's another potential one happening.
Yeah, you can't even go, this video might be stale by the time I put it out tomorrow.
I mean, Nima actually did a video of that, essentially saying that, where... Our buddy Nima Naz, he did a little video on Instagram just being like, back in the day, if there's an assassination attempt on the president, it was like, drop everything now. You're like, oh, that's fucking crazy anyways. Like,
yeah, I mean, dude, everybody, like, that's like a whole thing in America. Everybody goes, I remember exactly where I was when Kennedy was assassinated. You ask any person of that age, they go, I know exactly
I remember where I was the last Trump one because I was out in fucking, I was out in Muskoka, Ontario, and I wanted to come back.
Right. Ryan is like in the woods trying to get a bar of internet so he could fucking post some snarky tweets. Good God, I have bangers!
I actually do remember where I was. But really right now, it is more than ever in my life where it's just like boom, 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 boom. That's what it's doing. That's the shots.
That's the pagers exploding.
And then on top of that, all these old rock stars are fucking getting back together to do tours. I mean, the Oasis one, I guess that'd be kind of cool.
They just need money.
No, they don't.
Nah, maybe
You're
not.
fucking out of your mind if you think Liam Gallagher needs cash. I mean, you always want money, but
they want it.
No, because their own projects do well.
Yeah.
Like, you don't understand. I think what people forget about Oasis is like they were another random band in America and Canada a little bit, but
they're like the Beatles.
But over there,
yeah,
they're like, as big as it gets.
Yeah.
They really sit there in this higher...
It's like Wembley Stadium every show.
Yeah, they're like Ricky Gervais is big here, but he's not, probably Louis C.K.'s bigger, maybe you might say, or whatever. He's up there with those guys. There, he's like the guy.
Yeah, he does like he goes, I'm testing out new material in front of 15,000 people.
Yeah. So I think that's Oasis is like this. They're in every, here it was like, oh, remember Oasis? Yeah, the guys are on the internet being funny kind of. There it's like, they get every move they make is like their TMZ. They get Queen treatment, right? It's a big deal.
Yeah, they're big time.
But Jane's Addiction went back out there. Perry Farrell and Dave Navarro.
I guess that's over.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, that was hard to watch. It just like really, really seemed like some fucking geezers. And we talked about before because Jane's Addiction, his old wife was doing articles about being like, I don't get enough credit.
I forgot about that. She doesn't get enough credit. So it's karma.
And basically, it was over the vocals not being loud enough, and that's what the whole start.
Well, they were. I think from what I understood is that he was kind of started rambling, and then they started speeding up the tempo to just finish the song quicker. And then he was mad because he figured out what was going on, but he seemed like all fucked up.
They all hate each other.
Yeah, they all hate each other. And then
But he was saying also that his voice was. They kept turning down his voice, so he had to be yelling.
You can relate.
Well, I can relate. That's what I'm saying to you. Last episode, you tried to turn my.
Well, I thought it was mine.
We almost had a similar situation because Danny kept turning my fucking headphones down. I actually feel what Perry Farrell is. And I'll just reiterate because last week we were talking. I actually do like Jane's Addiction. I think they're pretty sick.
Yeah, that's good.
I mean, I like 3 songs, but
yeah.
I'm sure that I don't know track 9 on the albums or whatever. But I thought
Entourage theme song.
No, I like Been Caught Stealing.
Yeah.
Jane Says. That's really those two.
Yeah.
That's really the 2 that are on my thing.
Yeah.
I guess Porno for Pyro was like kind of cool for a second.
Yeah. And you go see them. They just play the new album.
But I was thinking more because I obviously when I said Nirvana is overrated band, I got maybe more hate than I've ever got for anything ever.
I stand by that.
You see, people.
I saw the hate.
I was getting personal messages from people being like, "You got it wrong, pal."
Saw the hate. Stand by my.
Well, let me just. This is where I've even kind of said this on this podcast, but whenever I think about comedy, it's like what you're always, and I've kind of said comedy a lot of times is like an inefficiency in the market. A lot of times you're just like, the same way that if someone was like, this guy's amazing and he was like average, you'd be like, I mean, he's not amazing. And before you know it, you're kind of like, you guys think he's way better than he is.
Yeah.
But if someone says someone sucks and you're like, he's all right.
Yeah.
So to me, it's like Nickelback isn't the worst band in the world and Nirvana isn't the best band in the world.
Yeah.
And to me, all those bands, when you go Nirvana, I said, this is how you remind me. You go, this is how you remind me. I was never some big Nickelback fan, but if you take the song, This Is How You Remind Me by Nickelback, and you change one note, this is how you remind me. One note that is a Nirvana song.
Sure.
I will also go, when we talk about Pearl Jam, people think of as cool. Creed, people think of as lame. Mm-hmm. Tell me, Jeremy's falling. Is that different from With Arms Wide Open?
Yeah.
Are they that different?
I mean, here's the thing.
They should be in the same genre.
Yeah. The thing is that it's the fan bases that dictate how people feel about these, right? Is they don't like, it's what happened with country music for a long time, where you go, I hate the people who go to this.
Okay.
Just like I hate the people who go to Nickelback, right? And there's a very like adversarial thing where you go like, I'm not like them. Like the people who go to the shows I like are cool. People who go to their shows are lame.
Yes,
right?
and there's a bit of an elitist component.
Absolutely, there's an elitist component. Like it was very much like, look at these fucking white trash who go to Nickelback. Like fuck them, fuck Nickelback, all that shit.
Everyone started saying that, which also that's probably the first time it made me question. Like, are these guys? I always kind of thought they were like an ironic band to kind of funnily like, but they even did a documentary, and they were just like, we were kind of skyrocketed, and we were this big band, and then overnight, we became like a punchline, and we were like, what the fuck?
Yeah, what happened? Yeah, they probably were like, what the hell? And it's just like, country music was like that for a very long time, where people were just like, yeah, I just hate the fan base. I just don't identify with them at all, and I don't like the fan base. They're all probably just like Republican, like Southern people, and then people are just like, yeah, I don't like them. It doesn't matter if I'm listening to a radio and Nirvana comes on, instant turn off.
Sure,
I turn it off every time, and I might. If some Nickelback bangers come on, I might not turn them off.
Well, because it's sort of ironic a bit.
I mean, they have some catchy songs.
I'm not going on a record backing Nickelback, but when they come on, it's almost like funny.
Yeah.
When Nirvana comes on, it's almost like everyone has to pretend how great they are.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know.
Sounds like I'm being contrarian, but tell me that Creed and fucking Pearl Jam, you change a few notes.
Yeah,
it's
like similar for sure.
It's not that different.
I think but Pearl Jam hard to compare because Pearl Jam has so many hits.
Oh yeah, Creed doesn't have hits.
They have not the same amount. I don't know.
Creed?
How many? I mean, I'm trying to think of just ones I know.
Okay.
Arms Wide Open. Can you take? Is that the same song?
Okay. Creed.
Higher.
One Last Breath, Higher, My Sacrifice, With Arms Wide Open, My Own Prison.
Okay, I don't even know my own prison.
Neither do I, but I know that
So I
they're
know
big.
4 of them. Dude, fucking Pearl Jam 10 was like all hits. That whole song, that whole album.
Do you remember the Jamie Kennedy sketch? So Jamie Kennedy, we were like, I always, I was hanging out with him and chatting with him at Skankfest, and he's like, I always thought Jamie Kennedy Experiment was like one of the funniest shows ever.
Hilarious.
Posted one again recently where he's the lifeguard, and then he goes and pees he tells everyone, hey everyone, you got to give me a second, I got to go to the bathroom, and then he walks into the pool and then pees, and then he walks back on the lifeguard stand, and then he blows the whistle, he goes, everyone back in. But there was one of the things, he goes to like a spring break situation. They spread a rumor that Creed's coming.
Yeah.
And so they go tell everyone Creed's coming, and everyone's getting pumped up and everyone starts chanting Creed, Creed. And then finally they build it all up, and then the curtain comes down and he's standing there with an acoustic guitar, and he's Chris Creed, and it's spelled K-R-E-E-D. And he goes, Chris Creed. And his song, he goes, no drugs, no booze, you snooze, you lose. I'm high on life. And everyone's
That's great.
It's all these like bros on spring break thinking that Creed's coming. It's Chris Creed.
Chris Creed. Solid.
That was one of the best ones ever.
Yeah, that was a great show.
Oh yeah, definitely. I just actually got back from Toronto. A lot of people were fucking saying what's up to the boys at in the airport,
Nice.
which was good. I always thought it kind of reminded. Do you remember? Did I ever tell you probably the most awkward one I ever had in Tulum? I think I probably told you, but when I went to Tulum, we had to release the podcast, and sometimes I go through it to like approve clips and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So a guy came up to me, and I was on the beach in Tulum, and he comes up and he was like, dude, Ryan Long. He's like, that's crazy. He was like, I wasn't sure if it was you, but then I saw you were listening to the BOYSCAST. I was on the beach watching the video.
Yeah.
Like, I was just like, no, I have.
No, I'm working.
I'm finding the guy. I have to approve the timestamps for the clips. The guy.
No, I like the podcast too, man. I like just 2 of us who like
That fucking is ingrained. He probably be listening right now. That shit's ingrained into my brain, dude. I like all night long. I was just like, fuck me.
I'll never live this down.
Guy caught me on the fucking beach in Tulum watching BOYSCAST.
Oh, no. I was just. What's this? Someone sent it to me. My own podcast.
Yeah, I wasn't sure if it was you, but then I saw you watching your own podcast. Like, I have to prove the clips.
Just looking for clips.
I'm mortified. I go,
That's good shit.
anyways. Okay, so we talked about Naval last week.
Yeah.
And I've always kind of thought, him, we always really like Balaji. That's why we had him on the podcast. There's a few of those guys that I always just thought
Indian guys.
smarter than people. I gotta put Eric Weinstein, Peter Thiel in that category a little bit.
Solid.
But Naval, since we talked about it, I kind of was like, okay, let me go listen to some of his bangers. He had this tweet storm, How to Build Wealth. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
And then I just wrote down a couple of the clips because they were like fucking banger quotes. Sorry, not clips. He goes, if you want to be happy, surround yourself with people that are lower than you. If you want to be successful, surround yourself with people that are higher than you.
Sure.
I thought that was such an interesting one because people always think of them together, but it's like there is an inverse correlation always between like happiness and success.
Sure.
And I think some people always go back and forth being like, I'll be less happy like this. Oh, I'll be less successful. You're like, yeah, it is somewhat inverse correlated until it isn't, and then you can.
Right. Yeah. But for a period, it is.
Yeah, he's big. The most important thing in the world is compounding, whether that be relationships, whether that be money, everything. You should be playing long-term games with long-term people. That's a big him one. But the number one, which I've sort of said about myself in worse ways, but he put a very big button on it. He goes, most of life is searching for who and what needs you the most. Yeah. And I've even said that sometimes they'll be kind of in culture or whatever it is, and I'm just kind of like, like I could say something here, but it's like, enough people are saying it. I don't know if I'd be specifically better at making this point. Yeah. And then there's other times where you're like, oh, I think that my specific set of skills would be the best one to sort of say this. Sure. And you kind of being in tune with that or whatever. So I thought that was such a good way to look at it. And even probably people, and you're like, but yeah, life is a search for who and what needs you the most.
Yeah.
And then he was talking about politics, and he goes, "Put your enemy in charge and see how fair it is."
Well,
that's an obvious one that a million people say.
That's the free speech thing. You want them to have a fucking misinformation bureau? Wait till Trump takes over and runs it.
Right.
How you gonna like that?
That's exactly it.
Which is crazy because it seems the most common sense thing that if you told that to somebody, they'd be like,
no, it wouldn't make that much sense to them.
That wouldn't make that much sense to them. Like,
and then the last one I thought was just a notable quote. He said, and this may not be him, but it was art is art for its own sake. Art is for its own sake.
Yeah.
So I think that a lot of times when people, you'll see things that are like propaganda, and it's really that is the meaning is like there was a different purpose for this other than art, whether that be change people's opinions or money. But a lot of times when you make something and your whole purpose of making it, you're like, I think this is sick.
Yeah.
Not like this will help. I think a lot of people in culture will talk about like how this helps the movement or this helps that or this helps this.
Yeah.
Well, it is though, right?
Yeah.
And you go, well, what is it really? And he goes, art is art for its own sake.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of the good art is.
Yeah, and it will have other purposes. Like it's going to change things. Too, but you go, that is not the purpose of it.
Yeah, the purpose of it's not commerce.
Commerce or, I guess what would be the better word for when it's propaganda? Commerce or shifting opinion.
Yeah, like opinion. Yeah.
But I thought that was the best way to describe it. But anyways, that guy is bangers. I would check out that How to Build Wealth. I thought it was based on this like tweet storm he did.
Yeah, that was like the first tweet. That's like when he showed up to Twitter. I think that was either right before he went on Rogan. Maybe he had just been on Tim Ferriss or something.
Yeah, when he first came out, he's the angel list guy, and then he's kind of started getting involved in philosophy and politics and stuff.
Yeah, he's a man.
So this woman says, "I wear black to my friends' weddings so I can mourn for the bride."
Shut up.
Marriage.
Lots of people wear black to weddings.
Do a lot of people wear black to weddings? I guess
Not the
guys.
bride.
Women
Wear a black dress? I don't think that's so crazy.
Oh, I guess so.
It's like she's trying to make a whole thing out of like literally nothing. Like you're trying to make yourself like the center of attention here. Like your friend doesn't give a shit that you wear a black dress. Your friend cares that you won't shut up about it.
Well, that's definitely true.
You go, you want to know I'm wearing a black dress? You go, you're fat. Kind of letting yourself go a little bit, and you just want to kind of like the way the shadows.
I wear black to the wedding so I can mourn the bride, and I'm fat.
Yeah. You go, it's just because it makes you look slimmer. He goes, no.
It has nothing to do with the fact that it slims me.
No, it's because I'm mourning your life.
My girlfriend Zoe called to announce the engagement. Somehow, I dug up the energy and attempted to make my words of congratulations sound authentic. She sighed heavily on the phone. She's taking pride in the fact that her friend sighed heavily on the phone. She goes, all she asked was for me to promise to not wear black to her wedding. I'm that friend, the woman who doesn't ask to see her engagement ring. Hey, do you want to see my engagement ring? No.
Does it look like a ring?
Yeah.
Is it a rock?
The one who doesn't get excited about shopping. I almost did this at Danny's wedding. I wear a toga to my friend's wedding to mourn the loss.
Guy, I tell you, I wouldn't have given a shit.
Ryan, can you please just not bring the beer funnel? I go, a wedding is not a time for celebration. I will be wearing my skeleton outfit with coffins on it.
My beer hat.
My beer funnel hat. And I will have a toga. And boy, yes, I will be making an objection.
Sure.
And you go, yeah, okay.
All right, I guess.
Black is my standard uniform for weddings because as a 40-year-old woman, I no longer get lost in the romance. I see, too, the realities of marriage for women. So it's funny because, too, there's like, her whole point is blah, blah, blah. She goes, marriage is worse for women. She goes through all the standard arguments. However, why would that be any different? If these people lived together before, which is mostly the case, you go, what's the difference now? The only difference now is maybe she gets some casual if they break up.
Yeah, there's no difference. And again, lots of people wear black to weddings. It's not that crazy.
I could see this girl having a business model where guys hire her to hang out with her chick if she wants to get married and you're kind of pushing the can down the road.
Yeah.
And then you show up, you go hang out with this girl. She's like there. She's
the
like
anti-marriage feminist chick.
Yeah,
you're a feminist, aren't you?
The anti-marriage feminist chick could definitely be hired as,
Sure.
where are you going to be tomorrow? I want you to meet someone.
Yeah. I mean, the only thing I can
guys
think
just
of
piling up in line.
is
Like,
if she's like, hey, I want you in the bridal party, and you're like, these are the dresses you're wearing. She goes, no.
no.
Unless they're black, unless everybody wants to wear the same dress I'm wearing, but otherwise I'll just be wearing a black dress.
And I will also be wearing a widow's vow.
Yeah, see, the veil would be better. If you want to wear the veil, I go, okay, that's fucking weird. You're wearing it at a wedding and you just got the veil over your face?
Do we have any objections? No objections, just a comment here. Your funerals. She gotta say this in the speech, though, too. Marriage isn't even a good long-term bet with a high percentage of women.
Preach, sister! Preach from the heavens!
Yeah. Telling me some guys wouldn't want this girl to have a word with their chick?
Yeah.
Most of them end up in divorce within the first 10 years. Furthermore, 2/3 of divorces are initiated by women.
Sure.
So it's funny too, because she's having this speech around the guy too, and the girl's like, "Can you shut the fuck
He goes,
up?"
He's like, has to act like he doesn't know these things. He goes, really?
What the fuck?
Really? 2/3 of women, huh? This seems like maybe I shouldn't do this. She's like, shut up.
So that's a wacky girl right there.
Yeah, that's really annoying.
Can't even suck it up for 2 seconds for someone else to want that.
No. And you're like, okay, we get it. You own one dress.
Never an article being like, "Oh yeah, I just realized I'm selfish, narcissist."
Yeah, no, this is very...
If she does realize she's narcissist,
I mean, she's
gonna have a page
writing
about
blogs
that.
for Mamma Mia. That's kind of prerequisite.
This one's Tango, I think.
Oh, this is your tango.
But we got a Yahoo article. They got another gay guy. I've been loving these, by the way.
Gay guys?
We'll just turn turning every character gay because it's
sure.
coming out right now.
Yeah.
Was Abraham Lincoln gay? The new documentary. The name is fucking crushing me. New Abraham.
Abraham Lincoln?
I mean, they should have went with Abraham Lincoln.
Well, that's a missed opportunity if it's not Abraham Lincoln.
Lover of men. New documentary about Abraham Lincoln called Lover of Men.
Lincoln freed the cum slaves.
Guys, after Danny passes away from his morbid obesity, we are going to be writing the Danny Polishuk story, Man Addict. Addicted to men.
Addicted to men.
This never gets old for me. It's just dying, and then 100 years later, someone does your biography, and they call it Never Enough Men.
Yeah, you go. He's like, I'm not gay.
Debates over Abraham Lincoln's private life have lingered for years. They have not lingered for years. They started lingering 3 years ago.
I mean, this is kind of the first time. And it's so funny because you're like, yeah, he stayed with a buddy of his for a few weeks. And,
Exactly.
1812, that's pretty dubious.
His upcoming documentary, Lover of Men. Lover of Men's Crushing. Hitting theaters September 6th, takes Joaquin Phoenix the dream. Probably was
Hakeem
so
the
mad that he
Dream.
didn't get this role.
No, that's Daniel Day-Lewis territory.
Daniel Day-Lewis probably wanted this territory until he found out the name of the film.
Wait, what? He's gay. I'm not doing it. Abraham. He goes, why would we do an Abraham Lincoln part 2? He kind of got everything kind of covered.
I sort of already did this. You go, no, but you don't understand. Our new one, Shaft Fiend, is going to cover stuff that the old one didn't.
He's like, I died at the end. What else is there to even do?
Rodhound, the Abraham Lincoln story.
Imagine fucking Daniel Day-Lewis signs up because remember the whole thing was he was Lincoln for like 4 months, but then he's gay Lincoln.
Yeah, I should be gay Lincoln. Oh yeah, you're a method acting. Oh, we should probably tell you one thing before you start your method acting.
Yeah.
The film is called Gagging on 9 Inches.
He's hanging out in bathhouses and shit. And some fucking big stovepipe hat.
They called him a queer icon. Throughout his life, some historians maintain that he was heterosexual. There's a few still
I had
holdouts.
a wife.
There's a few holdouts saying that he was hetero.
Do we end up with the John Wilkes Booth was just like a jilted lover?
Yeah, possibly, yeah.
Was that a domestic?
I'd have to watch.
In the end?
I mean, I haven't seen Lover of Men personally.
We should
You're
watch
going to have to watch Lover of Men and get back to me.
watch it.
Others argue that Lincoln was a queer icon, erased from history.
Sure.
So a queer icon is definitely pushing it.
Based on nothing.
So their kind of side of the story is he came in from freeing the slaves and he was like, yeah, definitely, it's very important to free the slaves. Comes in, he goes, oh, finally. All this slave talk has made me thirsty.
Yeah, but like literally one of the things is like they're like, yeah, he stayed with a guy. He had a roommate.
He had one of his boys.
You know what they said about guys back in the day who had roommates?
My roommate. Yeah.
Oh, you just had a roommate?
I can read between the fucking lines, Gabraham.
Beard wasn't his only beard.
Gabraham Dinkin.
Got him.
Lover of men.
Yeah. You think they're gonna, like, as a publicity stunt, they're gonna go to the Lincoln Memorial and just like put some gay shit on them?
Glitter it up.
Yeah, just the rainbows all over him.
Yeah, he would have loved that.
To face the Lincoln Memorial.
The Intimate World of Abraham Lincoln, which so there was an original book called The Intimate World of, so someone wrote a book being like, nah, he's gay, bro.
Yeah.
And then basically a lot of scholars were like, stop calling him gay, he's not. And then they decided to take that book and make a movie out of it. Now, here's the thing. I think the people that do this are pussies because they only do white guys. They never have the guts, really. You never hear like Genghis Khan. Like they never they never really do icons that aren't white because they don't have
Martin
the
Luther King or something.
They don't have the cojones to be like Martin Luther King was gay.
I mean, well, fucking say Martin Luther King was gay and then go walk around Martin Luther King Boulevard. And
exactly.
See what that does for you.
They only have the fucking cojones to hit up white dudes with this, which shows just how much of pussies they are because they go, Napoleon, they've been trying to say he's bi. They're like, the Romans are gay. It's like, okay, talk about some, one of the Mohammeds.
Just the Muhammad.
Go, Osama bin Laden was gay. You never see them having the guts to do that one.
No.
Osama bin sucking.
And he had a very slender frame.
Hey, spent a lot of time in those caves. I don't know what was going on.
Osama bin Laden, power bottom.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
But doesn't it seem like kind of a pussy move?
Yeah.
Because if you're like, hey, if you actually think all these guys are gay and it's good, then why don't you pick some black dudes and start talking about which ones of them are gay? And they're like,
dog.
Nah. We don't have the guts. That's the reason. They don't have the fucking
Martin
cojones.
Luther King Jr. Pause. The book.
That's the problem, though. They don't have the fucking cojones. They're cojoneless, man.
We'll get to them.
Like
Lincoln.
They fucking go to the stop sign. They stop immediately. Yeah, they stopping at yellows.
1,000.
Exactly.
1,000. 3 1,000.
These people who wrote this have never yielded at a stop sign in their fucking life, man. The cojoneless, man. It's just fucking flat. Ken's, a bunch of them. Stouffer hopes the documentary will challenge perceptions of American history and LGBTQ acceptance. And so their theory is somehow this is going to make people like gay people more. If anything, it's just annoying people. Yeah. It's like, stop saying everyone's gay.
I mean, again, you have no proof. You have no proof other than...
You never see the other way around. Freddie Mercury was straight.
He was quite gay.
Well, you never see the other way where they do a documentary about a gay guy and then they go, joke's on you.
Yeah, he was straight.
The Freddie Mercury story. No dudes allowed.
All those Liberace.
Exactly.
Turned out to be a flamboyant straight guy. We had it all wrong.
Yeah, so the only thing they do is gay up white historical figures, which shows you they don't have the cojones.
Yeah, they don't have the balls.
They fucking ballless, man.
No huevos.
Definitely no huevos, man. All strikes, no balls. All going on strike. A large number of Americans define the United States as a heterosexual nation. Just a large number.
I don't think we do. I don't think we make a call either way.
No one defines it.
Yeah,
but if you were to say, what are the majority of people here?
Sure.
You go, some people are saying the majority of people are straight. And you go, they are.
They are. I don't know what to tell you. They're just, I guess, if you want to say that.
North Korea, that's a gay nation.
That's a gay-ass nation.
America ain't no fucking gay nation.
Maybe Japan's a little good.
You know what the gayest nation is? Donation. That's the Jewish nation. Yeah. So a lot of people say that the Jewish nation is Israel. The least Jewish nation is
it's an ethno-state.
Ethno-state with no Jews.
No Jews. Donation.
As the nation, that was Hitler's dream. the nation of donation.
The nation of donation.
You're not going to find any. So to call Lincoln gay threatens them. Do you feel threatened by this?
Kind of. Not gonna lie. I don't like this revisionist history business.
Don't love it either.
Nah.
I don't think it threatens me though. I think if anything, it does. it does make you feel like, okay, you can't believe a word these guys say because they're fucking everything.
The thing
they say
is, they're
wrong.
always trying to be like,
and even if they're right once, they're wrong. Even if one of these guys happen to have some fucking Jamaican style on the down low,
Yeah.
But you go 95% of their this guy's gay, that guy's gay was wrong.
yeah, but also these are the same people who are like, there's no gay agenda, but also Abraham Lincoln was gay.
I'll tell you what else these people
Butt
are the same
pirate.
people that say no, everyone's a conspiracy theorist.
Yeah.
They go, we need to get rid of these conspiracy theories. Anyways, fucking Abe Lincoln was sucking cock in the White House.
It was a bummer.
No pun intended.
Yeah.
So that's saying it does that it threatens people.
Anyways, we'll watch.
Heterosexual Nation wouldn't be the worst name for a stand-up special.
There you go.
This film is to get under the skin of the haters.
The Lincoln haters?
They're saying the people that don't think that everyone's gay, it's going to get... You're like, if you were a Lincoln historian, they're going to get under your skin. You're like, well, yeah, you might be able to get under my skin for being how wrong it probably
I guess
is.
the people of the South, the people who wanted to secede, well, yeah, you and them are now pals, I suppose.
They want to get under the skin of the haters as a way to open the door to greater LGBTQ acceptance. I don't think that's been working.
No.
I mean, look at the stats. Has your attempt to get under people's skin with gay stuff made them like gay
we're
stuff
done,
more?
we're done accepting. No more. We're not accepting any more applicants. We're done. You've had enough.
The time has come for this to be accepted and embraced.
Cum is spelled C-U.
Abe's gay. Yeah. I mean, this has to bomb, right? This film can't do good.
I don't think this is getting a theatrical release.
It is. It's in theaters. It said.
What? This isn't straight to fucking video?
In theaters, September 6th. I mean, it might be in a couple theaters in the village.
If you Google Abraham Lincoln was gay, the first thing that comes up says critics of the hypothesis that Lincoln was homosexual emphasize that Lincoln married and had 4 children.
That's one of the things.
Yeah.
And their theory is,
I literally knew a guy who was gay and he was married and had like 3 children.
I'm looking at the man in the mirror.
Yeah. I mean, I guess it's possible that had he not been assassinated, he would have been just like a sassy gay guy.
Probably.
At the end.
That's how he dodged the bullet. Like,
yeah.
He would have dodged the bullet if he was out, but he was too afraid to be sassy.
I really would like to watch this video just to know the proof of this.
I got a banger science article to close off on for you. This is right up Daniel Polishuk's alley.
So sick of science.
Danny's sick of science.
So sick of science.
The scientists have finally done it. I guess you would say, boss of scientists getting grants to do wacky fucking shit. Scientists who discovered mammals can breathe through their asses received Nobel Prize.
Okay, I'm listening, actually. I like this.
Among these collecting their prize was a Japanese... some Japanese shit. Have I ever heard some Japanese shit? Japanese people figured out you can breathe through your ass. I mean, Danny, you found out years ago you can breathe through another dude's ass.
Call it the snorkel.
What are you researching at your lab? Guy comes back every day.
What do you need
Fucking
this
covered
grant
in
money
shit.
for? Why's your nose
Well, that's how
brown?
it starts. First you find out you can breathe through your own ass. Next thing you know, you fucking find out you can breathe through another man's
I think he's
ass.
talking about Farting Gary or whatever. What was the farting guy on Stern? What was the guy who could just suck in air out of in his ass?
I think Farting Gary fucking should get the Nobel Prize.
Farting Gary's from Mr. Show. What was the farting? The guy who could fart on command.
I don't remember. There's a few.
Remember,
of them.
he just he would fart for like 10 minutes straight on Stern. Like he could just suck air into his ass. And
That was radio back in the day. That was as good as it gets, too.
Yeah, who was it? Will the Farter.
All right. Yeah. That was as good as it got back in the day, too, when you were like 12 years old.
Yeah. No video. You're just like listening and all you're just like... I'm like dying of laughter. Can't breathe.
Ryo Okabe Tanakora Takabe, who discovered that mammals can breathe through their anuses. They say in their paper...
Which mammals? It's pretty broad.
They're saying they have... I don't know. They probably have to do them one by one. Now they got the Nobel Prize, they could probably secure some more funding for their cause. They say in their paper that this potentially offers an alternative way of getting oxygen into critically ill patients if
Yeah, there's a lot of dudes who are like, I'd rather die. Some dude who's like been smoking for 80 years and they gotta like go, we can't get it. He goes, don't stick it up my ass.
kill me.
I don't want oxygen in my
Kill me.
ass.
Then you got these scientists fucking bending him over and he's just cranking him and then they do the thing.
Oh.
Stop.
We're gonna have to
Stop,
get the
please
oxygen.
stop.
Rectal oxygen.
Please stop with the rectal oxygen. They say in their paper this potentially offers an alternative way of getting oxygen into critically ill patients if ventilator and artificial lung supplies run low like they did during COVID-19. Dude, so some... Now you got a fucking
That'd be a
doctor
tough way to die.
shoving air into your ass because of COVID?
Yeah, they go, we got no ventilators. They go, I don't even want a ventilator. They go, we're going to have to put oxygen in your ass.
Woo!
I mean, I guess that's just boofing, essentially. We're just boofing air.
Boofing air.
Yeah, you're boofing air.
Boofing air.
Yeah.
I got some other wacky shit. We're going to go over to the Patreon, patreon.com/theboyscast every week. Y'all already know what it is and appreciate every one of you who messages me with some banger articles and stuff like that.
Yes, sir.
Peace.
Later.